Okay, so azithromycin, hydrochloroquine, azithromycin. Two case studies where this may have worked. Okay, both individuals were in their mid to late 50s. Neither of them had really any serious comorbidities, and the important thing I'd like to come across that it does seem to be part of their turnaround. Now, we can never exclude the power of prayer, so I can't emphasize that enough. To have somebody in your corner or a group of people in your corner, not just trying to seek the best medical attention for you, but also praying for you. So with that said, keep your communities in prayer. Keep those that you know that are in these conditions in prayer, because this is a dark road we're down as a community, as a country. In order to get through this information a little bit quicker, I'll be referring to my cousin as a female and her husband as the male. And to add to the entertainment value, hopefully this 4th of July, when I see her, I might continue to call her as a female until she becomes irritated and tells me to stop. God bless her heart. I hope they both get better. Both were born in the 1960s. The male had asthma and did not need an inhaler for a couple of years. They are doing better right now. It looks like he is on day 19. She is on day 14. It looks like they were doing actually good, or the male is doing pretty okay around day 5 and 7, but then day 8 got worse. There was shortness of breath. Hospitalization occurred around day 9, and 3 days later, the wife, my cousin, was admitted to the hospital as well. Both were administered hydrochloroquine and azithromycin. Z-Pack was administered through IV, and that was a 5-day treatment, which is probably standard. No zinc was available until April 18th for them. On day 4 of the treatment for the male, he had gotten zinc, and day 2 is when my cousin got the zinc. So a little bit earlier, she was able to get zinc earlier in her treatment, as zinc is in back ordered in the one hospital that they're at least. Neither of them needed oxygen. Ranges were between 92 and 96%. And it looks like the male was discharged 7 days after being admitted to the hospital. And she was discharged, it looks like 3.5 days after being admitted to the hospital. So she was required to finish her meds at home. I'd have to ask why. Maybe it was because she was clearly getting better. Damage could have been less, as she was administered or admitted to the hospital earlier. And these meds very well could have helped her and decreased the possible damage to her system. We don't know yet. We're grateful that the turnaround has been quick. It's hard to ignore that the turnaround did start around the administration of zinc. It's definitely going to be something that's going to be studied. A lot of these other studies that are being done, they're not mentioning zinc at all. So both were on oral vitamin supplements, C, and a form of zinc supplement. I'm going to leave a link to the pathophysiology doctor and his study of why that might be on this video. Yeah, so this is just 2 cases. This is likely going to be peer-reviewed. This is going to be probably just 2 cases of many cases. And hopefully they put the timelines here, because the timelines are real critical. Some of the cases where people are given hydrochloroquine and Z-Pack, it might be a month after they've already been sick. It might already be when they're on vents. And there's just not a lot of options. So they're trying new meds. And if you've seen my previous videos, hydrochloroquine is not a good medication to give to someone that's already really sick or has preconditions, comorbidities, heart conditions. And it looks like a lot of the professionals have already said it and easily can agree that this might be a prophylactic or something to give real early. So I'm glad that they both got this early, and I'm glad I can give you this information. Hopefully we can get their personal accounts of this, as this is a historical thing, and I'm glad they were able to get through it.
Date, it's April 22nd, 2020. I think there is no controversy. It doesn't work, but boy, are you going to be shocked when I show you the actual results. I have seen some of the worst, I have to put quotes around this word, ready? Science, that I've seen in a long time. So here's the deal. All antivirals, they work best early on in the disease. The drugs that work, antivirals do best if they can prevent the virus from exploding in population inside your body. Makes sense, right? Okay, so all antivirals work early on in the disease. Zinc is an important cofactor in the antiviral activity of cells, and in particular around chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine, because that has a couple of functions. One, it gets into lysosomes and it changes the pH there, and it prevents all kinds of things from happening for the plasmodia in malaria from being able to digest the hemoglobin, as well as preventing the lysosomes into which the virus particles are going in order to begin their escape Houdini act to get into the cell body. Does that, but zinc, important cofactor as well for preventing viral replication inside the cell. Okay, here's the deal. Virtually every study on hydroxychloroquine in the US, as well as some that I've seen out of Europe, has been given to already sick patients, maybe even already intubated. It's not been given early. And virtually every US study I've seen so far has neither included zinc nor mentioned why not. Not even to say, you know what, we didn't bother mentioning it because, or we didn't want to confound our study, so we didn't include it because, or anything like that. It's as if these study designers are completely clueless about the role in interaction and cofactor nature of zinc with hydroxychloroquine. And so that's a very bizarre oversight, right? Oh no, the Gilead remdesivir drug seems to have had a bad clinical result, and more evidence that hydroxychloroquine works.